Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're working with pattern 6456. I must have rehearsed that number in my head a dozen times. Start the video, still can't remember it. What is even up with that? It is an interesting pattern, or at least got turned into an interesting pattern because of the change ups, and as a result, I had to follow the pattern a lot more closely because it's not repetitive anymore. It changes, and I was definitely afraid of making mistakes, and it turned out all right. It worked. None of the strings are used evenly, especially of course the blue one. We already said that was going to be the dark blue one. We already said that was going to be an issue, but even the lighter color and the medium color, none of them were used evenly at all. When I cut off the ends, I've got them here, and yeah, it was all over the place. I did at one point, past the halfway mark, swap out the dark blue for the longer dark blue, just because it felt like it was just getting so short, and I really kind of hated it. I'm pretty sure it would have made it to the end. I'm just not sure how much of a tail for the braid I would have had at that point. So I did swap it out. Normally I'll go ahead and just do it for the sake of doing it, like let it go and see where it ends up. But it was really starting to bother me, like how short it was getting. So I think it's fun. I think the change ups make it fun. One of the things I suddenly realized when making it was that because we flipped it at the center, that the two closest to the center sides both are the same. So where it sort of alternates, at the middle it doesn't. And I was like, oh, is that like weird? But then I thought about it. I'm like, no, it really emphasizes the center. It makes the center a little bit more interesting. And I was like, okay, that's fair. That's kind of neat. Then I started kind of like questioning like the whole thing. Like, is anybody even going to notice the fact that these things keep alternating between just a regular old diamond and then something that's got like, you know, medium blues in the corners, and you know, like the medium blue ends up being the smaller diamond? And I think it is noticeable enough. It's especially more noticeable as you go further inwards. At the end, it doesn't have the dark blue coming up to the tops, and I think that sort of takes away from the fact that it's the same as like this one here, where the blue is solid on the outside. You kind of almost lose track of that because you don't have that strong contrast of the dark blue around it. So yeah, it's a little bit off-putting, a little, I guess, but still, it's cool. It is pretty cool. My hope for making this, you know, so complicated and different was that you would see how you could take an element that you like and you can make the changes to it, and it somehow just works, you know, like that's my goal, you know. There was nothing wrong with the pattern. You could have just gone ahead and made it, could have centered it the way I did and just left it as is, and that would be fine. It was a cool pattern. But I like this idea where, you know, it doesn't have to be quite as repetitious, and that you can have interesting things kind of going on in your bracelet work that challenge you a little bit more. Like, I've been doing this for a while, so getting a little bit more of a challenge feels kind of cool. I like it. It's kind of fun. Yeah, that's what I really want, you know, above all. And maybe to be able to look at the design of the bracelet and then be able to make the pattern without actually looking at which direction the strings are going, the way that I typically do. I just copy out the image of what the final bracelet looks like and then I kind of create it from that. And that's supposed to help you to recognize the ability to take a picture from whatever you're working with, like Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, and be able to create it for yourself without having to ask for pattern numbers or, you know, what website to get it from, that kind of stuff. So that's my hope. Anyways, I'm just realized we are past the halfway point. I do need to thank my YouTube members for making all this possible. I tell them that, like, I will feature you guys in my videos if you become a member. So I need to do that. I need to not forget that. So those are the members. If you want to become one, it's easy. It's the join button next to subscribe on YouTube. It's like $4 a month, but I don't know what that might be in your currency. So try it out and see if it's something that you want to do to help support the channel. It'd be awesome if you did. Yeah, so you can see like the difference between the two diamonds, right? Like one has got just a medium blue diamond on the outside. The other one, it's light blue on the outside with just the 4 corners being the medium, which I think is neat. I think that was kind of fun. That's probably what attracted me to the pattern originally. But then at the same time, I just couldn't picture doing that same repetitive thing throughout the whole bracelet. That just seemed kind of a little too repetitious. Even though, I mean, I like zigzags and some of the other, you know, arrowheads and whatever, and those seem to be able to go on for me, is, you know, for the entire bracelet. But this one, I don't know, something about it, I just thought it could stand to be different. And this is a little bit of like how I changed up the diamonds when doing the big project, the 5-foot wide wall hanging that I made. Making the diamonds change as you go down, even though they're using the same strings. That's a little bit of what I've employed here. I suspect you could probably even do some more changes, even though it was just these 3 colors. So that could be interesting too, you know? You really change things up all the way down. Maybe that's something you give a try. And you know, using my graph paper over on the website can help like give you a template to work from and come up with these kind of designs and stuff. Because I think that would be kind of awesome if everybody was able to create and make really interesting new things that's never been done before. I think that would be awesome. I would be feeling pretty good about myself if I taught others to be able to do that. So that's my hopes, my goal. Yeah, we're going into the last diamond here. So cool. You made it this far. That's awesome. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you got something out of the video. If you did, maybe you could hit the like button. That would be kind of awesome. Even share it with a friend. You know, somebody else that's making bracelets. That'd be cool too. All right, here comes the big reveal. Thanks again for watching. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.